there's a challenge in describing what I do as an actual profession. The difference is between poker and any profession. I can't think of any other profession where you lose money. Sometimes you work extremely hard, put in very long hours, and sometimes you not only don't get paid, you will actually lose a significant amount of capital. And for whatever pressure I thought I experienced in the corporate world pales in comparison to having perhaps your entire night or entire week's potential pay on the line on one hand. When you play a game against the house, against a casino, there's no game in which you have an edge, absolutely none. However, when you play against other people, and the best example is the one I know best, which is poker. If you are playing against the right people and employing the right strategies, you have an advantage. What that led to is figuring out, okay, so where is there the most thrill and the most opportunity to win significant sums of money? I was playing what are called cash games, just a simple game like you play with friends or family for dollars, sometimes for more. When I played my first tournament, I was instantly hooked. When I'm in a tournament, I don't think about the money. It's a sunk cost. Once I've paid for a tournament, that money's gone. Now, there's a chance I could get it back several fold too, but I look at the chips as just tools of war, and I get to put those in the pot. I get to use those to aggressively try to get people to fold their hands, or I can preserve them when I think it's more prudent to do so. But I think about the game, I think about what I'm doing at the moment, I think about the players, the competition. How can I beat each individual person? This may sound a little corny, but I actually worked with a mindset coach. It all stems from that idea that in any sport or in any profession, there are times where you're doing things seemingly effortless. And what this coach helped me work on, and everyone's different, is figuring out when I am in my quote unquote zone and how can I consciously get back into that kind of subconscious zone. What I seem to do consistently that gets me in that right state of mind is I relish the game. I go back to how I felt as a kid when I first got the thrill of bringing in pots and pots of chips or quarters or whatever it was. And when I do that, when I am able to get into the right state of mind where, yeah, I'm employing game theory, I'm analyzing what we call pot odds, I'm figuring out what my opponents are doing, but I'm not thinking about it. It's just happening automatically. There was another tournament at the Bellagio that I'll never forget that was a slightly smaller tournament. The first prize was $40,000 and a Rolex watch. I had gone to Las Vegas that weekend and I told my wife I was playing a tournament where the winner would get a Rolex, and she said, "I don't care about the money, please bring me home a Rolex." And she was joking, of course, but I ended up making it heads up, meaning down to the final two people, and I was with a gentleman. I had more chips than he did, and I said, "Why don't we split this? I just want the Rolex because I'd love to give that to my wife." And he said, "Well, no, I want the Rolex." I suddenly got nervous, not about the money. I knew I was guaranteed $20,000. I was fearful that I would lose the Rolex. And suddenly that's all I thought about was that Rolex. And our heads up match went on for another hour. It was a grueling match. And we went back and forth on chips, and never did I think about the money. I finally beat him. And again, it hadn't even occurred to me that I made $40,000. I went home and I gave my wife the watch, and I was so happy. And she asked me about the money. And I realized I had forgotten to get my check.